Hey, welcome back to the Chiron Intensive. I'm Kiera.
And I'm Setha. The Chiron Intensive is a space where we dive deep into healing. Inspired by Chiron, the wounded healer, this podcast explores how our struggles can become our strength. It's about real talk, real growth, and creating community for young adults who deserve to thrive.
It's not unusual to feel guilty about resting, yet we still have to allow ourselves to do so. I know for myself, I am always feeling guilty when I need to take a break, take a breather, and I always feel like people are judging me, and I have to stop caring so much about what other people think.
Exactly. And even for me, I feel like I could remember just not allowing myself to rest as young as like in elementary school because I just felt like I always have to be overachieving the best, always constantly striving to improve. So the reasons behind that guilt could vary, and we'll absolutely get right into that after we warm up the conversation.
Yay! I love this part. So, if rest were a person, how would your relationship with them look like? Would it be loving, toxic, on again, off again, situationship? What's going on here?
Okay. So for me, right, I would describe it as a situationship with a very bad on and off again tendency. Yeah.
Ooh, I feel the same. It's never toxic. When I was younger, it was very toxic because I wasn't resting enough. And I didn't even realize that many things that were happening in my life was due to a lack of sleep and a lack of rest because I literally wasn't sleeping. I remember we spoke in a previous episode about how I would work long hours and then go out and then work another shift like right after. I would
Mhm.
never be able to do that right now. It's just my body would not allow that right now. So I have no idea how I was doing that. But I realized that whenever I got into like an argument with a friend or an argument with a boyfriend or anybody that I was having any sort of issue with, it could stem back to me having a lack of sleep and just being cranky.
That makes a lot of sense because you know how they say like lack of sleep means higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. So it's just kind of like your brain is like priming to be like, what is going on? Why you did this? Why you did that? Like,
Exactly. So now I think in this very moment, it is on again, off again. However, I did have a really great routine when I was living in the Carolinas of, okay, these are my rest days, non negotiable. These are my rest days. I do not need to dress up. Even if I'm running to the store, I can run to the store, get what I need, or hey, I can uh, order it for delivery. I don't need to apologize for my appearance. I don't need to apologize for not being available because these are my designated rest days and times.
I love that setting boundaries because, oh my goodness, like I'm still
Hmm.
working on like evaluating my rest. That's why I call it like a situationship on and off again because it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like maybe I should like took my hair behind my ear, like, hey, rest, how you doing? But before when I was younger, like college and even high school, like 2 hours of sleep on
Oh my gosh.
average.
Oh, I
I
remember.
was hustling. Oh my
Ooh,
gosh.
I
But I got what I
remember.
needed to do. I did what I had to do because I got a scholarship. But golly, I wonder how much stress I put on my brain and body during that point in time. Like,
Yes, those high school days, especially me, because I work best when I'm under pressure. And unfortunately, this is still happening to this day. But I'm very much a procrastinator. And when I was in high school, I would wait till the night before to do a 10-page essay.
oh
Yes,
my gosh.
10 pages. I don't know what's wrong with me. but yes, I just remember those days of getting that paper done, submitting the paper, and then being cranky all throughout the school day.
Oh my goodness, you are taking me back for real. Oh my goodness. It either just be
Eh,
cranky or my siblings would get under my nerves for some reason. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. I got stories to share with about that.
My chemistry teacher hated me because I purposely would use her class as nap time. And it's so funny because I was passing her class like with flying colors. And I don't know
Chemistry,
how. I do not know how because that was literally my nap time.
that is literally doing chemistry. Chemistry was the hardest things I ever done in high school.
And then she invited me to because there were certain students that got a certain grade in her class, and then you would be invited to take the regents.
Hmm.
Um, and she was surprised that I was one of those students being invited, and I was surprised too.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
and I took it, and I did really well. So I mean, hey, I don't know. Maybe I was retaining information while I was sleeping.
Hey, it was kind of like your brain was subconsciously like, here's your reward for choosing this time to rest.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not advocating for that. Please stay
Yes,
awake in
please don't
school.
do it. Don't do it, guys, because as unfortunately for me, I missed everything in class. Literally, like would pass out, closing my eyes, sitting up, just teacher, and then realize what did he just say? My eyes was
Yes,
closed.
exactly. Exactly. I could have my eyes wide open and still, like, if I'm tired, I didn't hear you.
Oh my goodness. And I feel like we got away with it when we were younger. But I think by like 21, I think that stops. I think that I personally, I think that's my experience. Just for me at least, because I know you said you kept on getting going real throughout your whole 20s. I don't know if I can keep it going.
I don't know how, but I did.
Oh my gosh. So then, are you kind of like a lazy type of Sunday? Like imagine like it's the end of the week, and you have a choice. Are you a lazy Sunday or catch up Sunday type of person?
I am 1000% a lazy Sunday. Sundays are meant for rest. For me, everybody's different. Sundays for me are TV off, like my brain is shut off. I am not doing anything that is important on that day. If I am doing something that is important on that day, it's because I've rested throughout the entire day and maybe I gained some energy that night. So I do a lot of work at night. I know most of the people who work with me notice that I do a lot of emailing at night. Um, like it's if it's happening on a Sunday, it's usually because I rested. What about you?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were continuing. So for me, it's like I have to admit I'm a catch up Sunday type of person. Like I almost was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I am a lazy. No, I'm not. And the reason is it's kind of like all of a sudden all my chores has to just be I pushed it off and it's like, wow, it's the start of the week and I didn't do it. Well, time to broom, mop, clean the kitchen, run my laundry, wash them dishes, and then meal plan. And then I'm going to wash my hair. It's bad. Like, I really have to space out all of those things. And then maybe I could have a more chill Sunday. But I am a catch up Sunday type of person. And that is by purely a need lack of discipline on what I need to do throughout the week. So I want to be a lazy Sunday type of girl, and I feel like I should reward myself with a nice lazy Sunday. But I just been catching up, honestly.
But it also goes based on your work schedule as well, because I mostly work at night. Even when I did work for another person, I was working at night. So that's why I was able to have lazy Sundays because Monday mornings I didn't have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. So I understand why you would have a catch up Sunday if you work a typical 9 to 5 or
Mhm.
a typical Monday through Friday schedule. I understand that.
Oh yeah, and I think that absolutely plays a role because pretty much like after 9 to 5, it's kind of like you can't be vacuuming at night because I have an apartment. There's people below and right next to me, and then the priority is taking care of Whitney and her litter box, and that already takes me out because ugh, I hate litter boxes. That
Yeah.
I'm already like, you
Yeah.
know what? That's a win. I cleaned her litter box today.
Yeah.
So that yeah, that's actually true. And I think like that means I could also give myself a little bit of grace while I figure out like how to either transition to a more lazy Sunday or let it be a catch up Sunday, but another day is a little bit more lazier. Like a Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Whatever day that you have completely to yourself, just use that as your lazy day.
right, exactly. And I mean almost every day I'm working. So I just told myself, well, you're gonna have to find little bits and pieces of rest and then ask one of your bosses to give you a day off. So
Yes. Was that a hint? I don't know.
oh no, not a hint from you because honestly,
Okay.
like
Okay.
this is super, super simple. That was but it was kind of like Marshall's or my other job. So it's kind of
Yes.
like
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes
I
sense.
gotta wait 90 days for the other job. So I'm like, okay, I'm probably just gonna tell Marshall's.
Yeah. You want to get past that 90-day window for sure.
Yes, because I
For
want that
sure.
PTO girl. I want that
Yes. Yes.
PTO.
Make it through. You can make it through. But definitely
Mhm.
from the other one, that if you have like a day off or a day that you don't have to do as much, maybe even have a conversation with your manager about maybe working from home one of those days. That's an option.
I wonder if they would let me do that for like the cardiology job because I am a receptionist, and but it's always consistently like patient facing, but there's days where the doctor isn't there, so that might change things. So that really
Yeah.
is something I could bring up to her.
Yeah, especially on days where the doctor is not there. I'm assuming no patients would come in if the doctor is not there.
Right, right,
Right. So definitely like a cloud-based system that you can take home, get a work laptop and, work from the cloud-based system on those slower days.
right. Like that would be nice. Oh, oh yeah.
Yes. I'm all about work-life balance.
Yes, because I think like you need to work to live your life, but work isn't your life.
1000%. You need to work to live, not live to work.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So what is your earliest memory of feeling guilty for resting?
I hate to say it, but I remember journaling about feeling so bad that I wasn't like achieving so much, like, and I don't know what. Um, I still try to figure out where it stems from, but I believe my earliest memory was probably like 8, 9, or 10, like one of those ages, because when I was like 13, 16, I found one of my old journals and I was speaking so harsh about myself, about like, because I didn't like achieve some academic thing. I can't remember. No, it was kind of like, yes, I had a list of things I wanted to do. And I was thinking, yes, if I do this, it's going to make me successful in this way. And then also, after I do this, I could probably figure out a way to ask my parents to let me do like acting stuff. So, and it was so bad. Like, yeah, felt so bad. And I was like, you're a kid, have fun. Goodness gracious.
Yes, yes. I think my earliest memory was when I was sitting at home all day and I was a teenager and my mother came home and she's like, "Did you do anything today?" And I'm just like, "No, I rested."
And that made you like feel super guilty when she brought it up in that way, kind of like what's wrong.
It made me feel like something was wrong for doing that, but I mean, I needed to rest.
Right, right. And they say that for especially for I think I forgot what I think it also is just like related to gender because of like how women tend to go through puberty sooner or just people people with uh, female body parts, they, because of like all the hormones and the changes in our body, we technically need more rest. Like rest is super duper crucial from like, I think like it could range from 12 to like 16, 17, something like that, where you need so much rest that it shouldn't be interrupted. Like if your daughter, you know, is sleeping for super long hours, and of course they're not like depressed or anything, but they're just sleeping a lot, it's because their body is going through so much changes that it's not them being lazy, it's genuinely like your body needs rest. Like, and it's like that reminds me of just even how like when you're a baby, you ain't did nothing but you know, eat, poop, and sleep, but you still need sleep because sleep is going to help you grow. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, like those are the times are super duper crucial because it's like huge for development. And I think I was reading, like watching a gentle parenting like blog or YouTube video or YouTube short, TikTok, whatever it was, and they were saying like there's studies stating that between those ages you need like a lot of rest, like a lot of rest, that it shouldn't, you shouldn't be felt treated guilty about it.
Absolutely. Even children still need rest. We all need rest. We're all human beings.
Hmm. You know, they say every, as of right now, every species in the world rests. Everything.
Yeah, if I were an animal, I would definitely be a bear.
I think I'd be a cat as much as me and
I
Whitney.
would be a bear who hibernates.
Oh my goodness. Hibernate, have a couple snacks, and then wake up when it's spring, like, winter's over.
Sure would. But resting is a necessary part of taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional well being. Allowing yourself to rest means allowing yourself to heal in every aspect of your life.
Correct. Because you know how like they say your brain is literally making, it's cleaning the plaque in your neurons, I believe. Like
Yes.
resting allows you to, like resting, another form of rest is sleep. So sleeping is letting you clear your brain, letting you clean up everything, is letting your cells reset. And then resting can allow muscles to heal and grow. If you're working out, resting could help like alleviate anxiety from the day. Like it's like rest should be centered around more things than we currently have it now. um so yeah, it really does do that to every aspect of your life.
Exactly. How is rest determined in your home country?
So I don't know, because I feel like I don't always fully grasp everything from like the perspective of like somebody who's born and raised in Haiti. And you know, I'm Haitian American, but I'm still like, I feel like been raised in both Haitian and American culture. And a lot of the things I probably do say, believe, may not match what somebody who was born and raised in Haiti. But I noticed that when it comes to rest and hard work, right? I feel like it's kind of similar to African Americans, where you can't be
Mhm.
seen doing
Mhm.
nothing, because if you are,
Mhm.
you're lazy. Like I know like my grandma did not like us. I mean, my grandma loves us. I'm sorry. My grandma did not like us doing anything, especially when in Haiti. Oh my gosh, 3-year-olds are learning how to cook. So when my grandma saw me doing nothing and I was playing video games, or maybe she was fine with me doing homework, but then I was doing other stuff, she'll be like, "What are you doing? Like, you're doing nothing." Like, and meanwhile, my boy cousins are just having fun doing whatever, but she's yapping to me. I love her, but of course she's yapping to me, and it's like, because in what she grew up with is the 3-year-olds was learning how to cook. The 3-year-olds making the seasonings. The 3-year-olds probably cutting up some chicken. There was probably scaling some fish. Like, so I know that you have to work. They view work like work hard, it gets you where you need to go. But also, like, if you rest, it's so weird because I think we're like Haitian Americans and the Haitians probably are understanding rest is important in a way, but also it's just that you can be viewed as lazy very easily and then scrutinized for it. So I think like I felt that pressure, especially as like the oldest daughter in my Haitian family. So, and I can't fully represent, somebody who's raised a little bit differently because, being raised in America. But yeah, that's how it was kind of viewed for me, or at least that's what was imposed on me by my parents. Like hard work, long hours, and when the mom comes home from work, she's cooking a meal for everybody. And my dad could be sitting chilling. Maybe he might fix the car. Maybe he'll lay down and sleep. But the lady got to come. If she going choosing to work, she's still coming back to cook and clean. So,
And that's ridiculous. I'm over that.
oh yeah, oh yeah, me too, me too. Because oh my gosh, love my boyfriend, but I will tell him I'm tired. Okay, babe. Yep, I'm tired, babe. Thanks.
One thing my grandmother did that I love, like, I know we spoke before about how my grandmother, gave me the silent treatment towards the end of her life, but um prior to that, we had a very, very close relationship. And one thing she taught me was to just be honest. If something was on her mind, she would say it. And if she didn't want to do anything, she'd be like, honey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing that. I don't want people in my house. I don't want y'all coming over here. So that's
Oh my goodness.
that if she was good at setting her rest boundaries, because if she had to rest, she had to rest. But also she had heart issues because prior to her retiring, and she was actually forced to retire because she had heart issues and breathing issues. So this is where burnout becomes physical issues. You're working too hard, you're doing too much, you're taking care of children, and now your entire body is breaking down.
Oh my goodness. You got a point about that because I've even seen like an example of that emulate within my family. And I think maybe there was a slight shift a little bit, why my mom went a little easier on us. But my mom, she took care of her anemia, but at one point in time, her anemia got so bad, like literally on my birthday, she forgot who we were. And she was like looking at my dad, like she looked at me like she ain't even know me. And she was like, just get out of my house. Get out of my house. I don't know
Oh
you guys.
wow.
Yeah, she
I'm sorry,
literally
that's
like,
not funny. That's not
I
funny.
mean, yes, but yeah, we can laugh about it now because it's kind of, but it was literally like, and she was in the hospital for at least a week and had to stay with my uncle. And it was kind of like, it was kind of like, yo, and they said like basically she just wasn't taking care of herself. Like, having all
Yeah.
the kids, taking care of us, like her habit of not getting as much nutrition as she should have, I believe with my very last sister. It was kind of like, and it kind of runs in the family because my uncle did have it too. But she it was kind of like she wasn't managing how she was supposed to after having us. And then boom, like it really just, she had to be in the hospital for a week. Like that's how bad it was. And I think like she doesn't even go into full detail. I just go off of like my memory of it and what she was willing to share. But yeah, like if you just not even taking care of yourself, your body will literally go in survival mode. That's what that's essentially what it is when you're I've even fainted a couple times because I was like so depressed, but I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah. Not
Um,
eating properly.
not eating properly. And then it was kind of like I wasn't trying, like I was struggling with like depressive thoughts, right? But it was kind of like I was passively like not taking care of myself because I was like, well, if I something happens to me, something happens to me, I'm not even gonna care. But then what would happen is, yeah, I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping, I'm not getting hydrated. So that combination of no sleep, I'm not eating enough, and then I'm not staying hydrated enough. One day my blood pressure was low enough and my sugar was low enough that I literally my body shut down. And then
Yeah.
made me research that when they told me hypoglycemic stroke, and I'm like, hypoglycemic? I'm not even,
Stroke.
yeah. And it was just a hypoglycemic stroke because my
Oh
blood
my
sugar was so
gosh.
low. The brain is not getting glucose into it. And your body will literally, like, I was this close to going into a coma because I remember everything was black for like a quick second, and then I came back. So it was kind of like your body will,
Wow.
if you don't rest, your body is going to go into survival mode. And because your body is just thinking survive. Okay, if I'm not getting nutrition, if I'm not sleeping, if I'm not getting hydration, I'm not getting, rest, the brain is not getting a chance to recoup, the brain is not getting glucose into it because of lack of sugar. Okay, the brain is not getting oxygen because of lack of iron, or maybe like whatever issue that during your sleep is not good quality sleep and you're not breathing, da 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 da. Your body's like, I'm not getting enough of my resources. We're just gonna shut down, and so we can use
That's
as
true.
little resources as possible. And
That's true.
yeah, your body will do it, and you won't know till it's kind of like it happens so much. Now I've fainted so much enough where I know the signs, and I do everything in my power to keep that from happening because it's not fun when it happens. It's not fun at all.
It's not. I was having like pass out spells, I guess, fainting spells when I was working my overnight job. It was remote, but still, where I would be fine 1 minute and then I would just black out and wake up and be like, oh my God.
Whoa.
And that was because of lack of sleep. I literally was working overnight. I was working late at night into the morning, and then I would sleep for like 3 hours, and then I would get up and do the whole day, the whole thing again.
Wow. Because your body was literally trying its hardest to keep
Yeah, my
up.
because I wouldn't even call it. It wasn't falling asleep. It was literally my body. Like I would be fine. I would be perfectly awake 1 second, and then I would come back up like, oh my God, what the heck? What just happened?
Like shutting down like a computer.
Yeah. And I would feel, I started to feel when it was happening, my heart would start to like, it would be like feeling like it was about to explode or something.
Mm-hmm.
My head would be really, really light. My feet would go numb. It was a little like I started to notice all of the signs ahead of time.
Exactly, exactly. For me, it's like I get suddenly hot, right? Or I have a slight moment of confusion. Then there's like, for me, it's kind of like it feels like on top of slightly being hot, like it feels like beads of sweat is on my body. And then I get a little incoherent, and then boom.
Yeah. Sometimes it's also getting really, really cold for me.
Whoa, that is like the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Of the extreme.
Yeah, I would experience being like really, really cold all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Whoa, man. I mean, just you sharing your experience, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna up my resting game. Oh yeah, the body will shut down.
Yeah, and it's you're not taking care of yourself because one, you don't have the time to, two, you feel guilty for doing it, and three, you are worried about what other people think of you doing it.
Yes, because like I've struggled with like the cultural norms, like how I touched on about like, like there's other people who's busy, like they're productive. Why can't you do it? Or if you spend this much time, you're lazy. You're lazy, and there's other people who are doing it better than you, or feeling like I'm falling behind. Like which is what I was saying earlier with the cultural norms, but this time, like, oh, like I'm supposed to do this and this and this milestone at this time. I didn't reach that milestone because I was resting on this day when everybody else was doing that. Then there's like my personal struggles with like perfectionism. Like my life is supposed to be perfect. No, I don't try to say my life is supposed to be perfect. I try to say if I behave perfectly, I will be in control of how good my life goes. I'm learning with the way life is going that just because you do everything perfectly, life isn't perfect. Therefore, you can't be perfect. Your behavior can't be
Exactly.
perfect.
Exactly.
And it's more so on me, not on others. But I can't put that pressure on myself. And then an internal belief, because I used to think, oh my gosh, like I think I'm procrastinating. I'm nothing. I'm a nobody. I won't get where I want to because I'm just so I'm just I just I can't go. I can't keep going like everybody else. Um or it's honestly, I've been chipping away at it slowly, but that's kind of like what I've been struggling with. Like, what about you?
When I was younger, I really did struggle with people's perception of me. But I was very busy when I was younger. So nobody would ever dare use the word lazy and Kiera in a sentence. That no. I have been stereotyped as lazy because people didn't realize that I was working at night. So people would see me during the day with my children and see me with like a hoodie on and see me with like not doing much and assume that I am jobless and lazy. And it's like, no, honey, I probably work more than you do.
Mhm. And it's like kind of like how we were saying, like prior to recording, how people should mind their business.
Oh my gosh. Yes. The world would be a better place if people would mind their business because most judgment comes from your own internal voice that has nothing to do with the person that you're judging.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's just kind of like somebody making that judgment, they in turn are probably saying, it's like them saying in other ways, like that they're struggling with finding their own way to rest, or maybe they feel like I work so hard, why am I not getting this rest? When it's like you could have easily given yourself that rest and you would still be just as great.
Exactly. But the reality is, and this is where perception comes into play, I was not resting. I
Mhm.
literally worked. I was working overnight. I slept for maybe from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I was then homeschooling my children. I was then taking them to their sports events, taking them to the park, doing all of this stuff, and then working again that night. So
Wow.
perception is everything.
Wow. So 3 hours of sleep.
Exactly. And just because you see me sitting on a park bench does not mean I'm lazy and a no good person. Like we really have to get it together and stop. We have to stop
Hmm.
with looking at people and coming up with some story in our minds. We have to stop that.
Exactly. Because that little story in your mind will not account for the full 24 hours and the whole lifetime that that person experienced. Um, so, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah. I don't judge people. When I see, and I hate when people call homeless people bums. I hate when people call like single mothers. You don't know this person's situation. They could be leaving an abusive partner. They could be homeless because their home burned down or flooded,
Mm.
or come
A
on now.
health crisis threw them
Anything,
under. Yep.
anything. Mind your business. If you're not helping them, if you're not doing anything to better them, leave them alone.
Hmm. Leave them alone. Leave them
Stop
alone.
calling them names. Stop projecting your judgment onto them. Stop thinking that your way of life is the only way of life. Everybody has different paths, you know?
Yes. And then I also want to add that passing the judgment, criticizing is not going to motivate somebody to do more either.
It's really not. It's actually depressing them and making them feel bad about themselves and taking their energy away from doing what it is they need to do.
Hmm.
And we also need to remember that everybody is not starting at the same starting point. And that's where equity comes into play
Hmm.
because a person who is Caucasian and coming from a rich family is not going to have the same opportunities as a young Black person coming from Harlem or coming from Florida or coming from Haiti. We need to
Hmm.
we need to get it together. We need to stop. Be for real.
And two things about like those 2 points you were saying, because then like the same way how we were saying about how you shouldn't judge somebody in your external world, you should also apply that same concept to yourself internally, not to be so hard on yourself and like acknowledge your
Yes.
wounds. And then the
Yes.
equity part that you were saying, that reminded me about how like historically, right? And it's always like I love finding a moment to add the historically. I forgot what was that stereotype. Was it the Sambo or something where it was kind of like if you were a sharecropper or an enslaved person, an enslaved black person, just lounging, that you were all of a sudden just the lazy, was it lazy Sambo or something? Because I know that's something that stains like the American concept of work
Mhm.
culture, especially as a black person. Um,
I have to look more into that, but I do know that skin color also came into it because if you were darker, you were a field slave, and if you were lighter, then it was more likely you were working in the home. I do have to look up the Sambo. I know of that slur. I know of that slur. I just need to do more research on it before I can speak on it.
mhm. I know I just have a faint memory of back when I was in high school and we talked about that. And I'm grateful for like the teachers that I had. But yeah, it was Sambo something. And I know like it had to deal with like being lazy and irresponsible, right? Like, and I feel like now with like through generations, it kind of like tainted our mindset to just kind of, especially like those of us who feel like we need to achieve, either get us out the hood or help our family or be able to look out for me is like, that pressure of like I don't want my sisters to ever suffer the way I feel like I suffered. But sometimes I feel like that's like that stain. Like I feel like now after generation, it's like in the back of our minds. That's why we don't the word Sambo is not used, but it's like there, like because it's like are we if we're not doing anything, we're being told that we're just lazy or irresponsible, we don't want to work, or we use government aid because we don't want to work. I just feel like that can like mutate to lots of things, either to like the hustler culture that I think is permeating our like especially Black American culture, like the hustler culture can get really bad, or just even down to like oh, I lost my train of thought. But I mean, do you see where I'm like kind of trying to get at?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I do not agree with the hustling culture. I am a hustler. I the way I said it, and then I'm hearing Cassidy's song in my head. But I really am a hustler. Like I have been working my entire life. I have been finding ways to make money since I was 7 years old, selling books in front of my park. Like I've been a hustler. I don't agree with this. I don't think anybody should have to have three jobs to cover their rent. I think that is insane, and this just shows the type of country that we're in right now.
Yep. And it's like, that's me. Like, if you guys, since you guys can't see this because, we're doing a recording, I'm literally like raising my hand. That's me.
And I have been there. Like I just remember I remember I used to work at Dwayne Reed. I don't know if you do you know Dwayne Reed? I don't
That
know if
sounds
they
familiar.
I don't know if they have that in Florida, but they used to have it. I don't even know if they still have it in New York. But there's a store that was called Dwayne Reed. I used to work at Dwayne Reed late at night, overnight, and then I would literally leave Dwayne Reed and take the train to Soho and be styling people at Ben Sherman. I used to work at the store called Ben
What?
Sherman. When I tell you, I used to wear at Ben Sherman, you would need to look good because you're styling. I like I've come into contact with Bruno Mars. I've come into contact
What?
with B.O.B. Um, what's his name? Bob Schneider. Like there were so many celebrities that used to come into that store. So you had to look good,
You
okay?
had to, okay.
So I would be a bum at Dwayne Reed. I don't want to call myself a bum. I would be looking, like I would be looking hurt at Dwayne Reed. Um, and then I would be leaving Dwayne Reed dressed to the nines, but then I would be at Ben Sherman, like falling asleep. I'm in like 10-inch heels,
Oh
falling
my
asleep,
gosh.
killing myself. And I didn't even have rent at that time. It was just, I was trying to get up out my mother's house.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
and, I don't think anybody should have to live that lifestyle. I don't think anybody should have to kill themselves to take care of themselves.
Right, right.
It's I don't like this. I don't like because the hustle culture is not um it's not a trend. It's a necessity.
It's a survival tactic.
We can't afford to live
Mm-hmm.
without that.
And it's just like it makes me kind of like want to try to be an advocate for like change in the future, or just even like continue to like educate others, because like yeah, I don't want to be doing this forever, and I feel like I shouldn't have to. And it's like um I know it's like a, for me, it's like it feels like it's a systemic issue, and then also like a familial issue. So one day, like, definitely want to talk about like supporting yourself when you don't have familial support. But like, I'm like, I was like, I'm not even like a huge blower of money, but because I went to school without my parents' support and I had lots of stuff happen, literally, it was
Yes.
kind of like 4 years later, and I'm like, they still not supporting me. They still not helping me.
Yes.
And I gotta figure
Yes.
something out.
We are sisters. Cause same. Oh my gosh. It's
Hmm.
it's not even funny, but it's okay. We are going to make it through. It's going to take us longer to reach the finish line than our, easier counterparts, but we're still going to make that finish line, right?
Exactly. We're going to still make that finish line. Like,
Yes.
we will. Like, I talk about it with my friends all the time, like especially like in the acting aspect of things, right? Like, we'll be like, well, dang it, like, we not like our white friends who in
Mhm.
California, LA, not risking homelessness, just
Mhm.
chilling, vibing, acting, we not that because but
Mhm.
we gonna make it work right here in Florida. Cause I told my friend, I'm like, I would love to hop in and take a leap for it. But if I literally did like right now, I would literally find myself in the streets of California breathing in that toxic pollution air.
It's
No shade
so
for that.
funny because
Yeah.
right before the fires, that was my next stop. I was like, I'm packing up and I'm driving to Cali, and then the family of fires. What do you call it? I don't want to say family. It was a whole bunch of fires that took place recently,
Uh-huh.
and that's what the wildfires. As soon as I was like, I made up my mind and I was like, I'm going to Cali. That's when the fire started.
Yikes. Definitely not a good time.
But it was, I'm happy that it happened prior to me getting there.
Right. Because
I
then
mean,
you got
I'm
the
not happy that
covers.
it happened. I'm sorry. I'm not happy that it happened. I am grateful that I received the signs ahead of time.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Because that was a
Yes.
sign. Yep. I
Yeah,
told
it
myself
sure
that
was.
too. I told myself that too. Because I was just like, I I would have been in some deep doo doo.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Yes. But let's get into the 4 ways to cope with guilt rest. How about that? What do you think?
yes, absolutely.
So for me, I like to reframe rest as fuel. I am literally regaining my energy because my energy is easily depleted and drained, especially if I am around people too much, especially if I'm around difficult people too much. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it is easy. My son is sending you hearts. It is easy.
I'll
It
send
is
hearts back.
it is easy for me to be drained. So reframe rest as fuel, not laziness. It's not laziness when you are resting. Rest is not a waste of time. It is you refueling your creativity, your focus, and your resilience. You don't need to feel guilty for charging your phone. So, why would you feel guilty for giving yourself recharging of your body and your mind and your spirit?
Mm-hmm. You ate with that one because that's
Yes.
true. I sure don't feel guilty charging my phone.
Exactly. When your phone is about to die, or even half of the time we keep our phones on the charger, especially if we work in an office or
Hmm.
if we spend a lot of time in our car. We always have our phone on our charger. So why are we feeling guilty about putting ourselves on these chargers?
Hmm. It's a
Right?
huge necessity, or you're not gonna have a phone. Don't charge it. You're
Yeah.
not gonna have a phone.
Exactly. And you said earlier that you find it hard to find actual time. Hey, make it a point to find 2 hours out of your day where you're like, I'm not answering phone calls, messages, emails, nothing. I am literally doing whatever. If I want to take a nap, I'm taking a nap in those 2 hours. If I'm writing in my journal, I'm writing in my journal for 2 hours. Use whatever time frame you can to take care of yourself and recharge.
And thank you so much for saying that, because it does remind me that I need to work on setting more boundaries around rest. And I'm oh my gosh, I just love how everything is like falling in line together with the episodes, because we were just talking about boundaries, but you know, setting boundaries around rest, like protecting, like putting time to the side. Like I'm gonna try doing that. Like if I can't do 2 hours, okay, 30 minutes. I'm trying 30
Yes.
minutes, you know?
Yes.
um because like yeah, the phone can impede into my rest. It definitely can. And it's like, and I see the effects of it at work, with my readiness for the rest of the day, even sometimes the way I think. I think it was Tuesday or Monday where I did have good rest, and I was like, oh, I'm getting this in, like I'm doing this. And
Yes.
I was just like,
Oh,
oh yeah, maybe I should have just been getting a little bit more sleep. And
nothing better than a good nap.
right. So like yeah, or just protecting your downtime, like you protect a meeting or a deadline. Okay, you know that you got to work at 9 to 5. Nobody can argue with you about that. Nobody can be like, "What's wrong with you? Why can't you talk to me on the phone at 9:30? Girl, I got work from 9 to 5." Like just how you would protect that downtime, you got to protect it like a meeting.
Exactly. I have a paper due. I can't talk to you right now. Same thing. I got to take a nap. I
Exactly.
can't talk to you right now.
But you know, one thing that I definitely have been much better around is saying no when I need to, because like, and that was like, I know that was something that I was trying to teach my sister on. I've gotten way better at saying no to others. I just got to say no to myself, right? But you
Hmm.
got to say
Hmm.
no when it's necessary, right? Because I know like I'll say no maybe to like partying with a friend or going out late, so I'm good at that. It's just kind of like I need to say no when it comes to like being on my phone or adding on an extra task that I know could wait till tomorrow, or saying, hey, Zepta, like, yes, it's great to, plan this and put this on your calendar, but you got to sleep first before you can audition for something or do anything like that. Like, you got to be on your best
Yes.
behavior. But yeah,
Yes.
like how we were saying that if you don't set those boundaries, if you don't say no when you need to yourself or to others or any external factor, you will burn out. Either you're
Yes.
gonna mentally burn out or your body will shut down, like how we were saying, how we was fainting and passing out. Like it will. It
Yes. And you
will.
never want to be that bitter Black person at work. Oh my goodness. How many times have you gone into a store and you were in good spirits and you were, happy until you encountered this individual who just seems miserable? How
Hmm.
many times?
Oh my gosh, more times than I can count.
I went into Sam's Club yesterday and I was like, oh my gosh, because first of all, I didn't know that they even had Sam's Club in New York. I thought Sam's Club was just a down south thing.
Me too.
So I was intrigued. So I went inside. I went inside and I was like, oh, can I get they had these hot dog combos for $1.50. I know, I shouldn't be eating them, but I wanted them. And then they had it for 150 where you get a drink, a hot dog, and something else. It was three things that you get for $1.50. So I said, okay, let me get three of them because I had my kids with me. I said, let me get three of them. We'll cheat today. And she was like, I went up to the register and she's like, not even hello. Yes.
Ay, ay, ay.
Excuse me for interrupting you.
Goodness.
And I was just immediately turned off and I I just decided not to get it. I don't want people with bad attitudes touching my food. I'm sorry.
The energy, the bad energy.
Yes, I don't want you touching my food or my drinks.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, I gotta go.
It's like,
That feels ugly. No, thank you.
no,
It's
thank you.
like, yes. It's like, oof.
And
Please find.
like being around folks like that, it can be a little draining because
Yes, a little. A little.
it's like one thing if it was like, okay, keep your negative self away from me at a distance. But it's kind of like when it's like right there, like we're social, we're humans. Like that's literally just how our brains work. Like, and I'll even say this as someone who is like, like possibly like autistic, because it's kind of like we just run on those things, like no matter who you are as a person, and it can be draining, and it could just, yeah. So I absolutely.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't want you touching my food. And I do that at any restaurant. I don't want you touching my food. I don't want you touching my drinks. I don't want you touching my hair if you have a nasty attitude. That is transfer. No, thank you. So, number 3 for me is replace the guilt loop with gratitude, because that guilt loop is real. The words that keep repeating in your head over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, you have to put a stop to that, because when guilt creeps in, you need to pause and you need to say, I'm not doing anything wrong. Thank you, body, for needing rest. Thank you for giving me the signs that I need rest. And thank you for reminding me to slow down. Thank you that I have this downtime to slow down. And, flip that guilt into gratitude, where you can see rest as a gift instead of something to defend. Because how many times have you had to explain to somebody why you stayed home for 3 days in a row or 2 days in a row?
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer doing that. If somebody asks me about my day, I'll be honest. And if you say anything negative about it, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, now I'm not gonna share my day with you. It's that simple.
Right.
It's that simple.
Because you just don't want their negative input affecting like your internal like beliefs around like your rest and guilt versus the gratitude with the rest. So
Yes,
yeah,
it's true. Because how other people, other people's opinions and their judgment of you is going to change your behavior.
yes, it is. And I think a lot of the times we try to ignore it or think, oh my gosh, like what other people say don't affect me, but it does. That's the whole point of words, right?
It
Words can
does.
either uplift, break down, limit you, demotivate you. Like words have power.
It does. But one thing that helps me, sunglasses. I am good for having on a pair of sunglasses. I'm good for having on my hoodie. I'm good for having on my hat on days where I don't want to hear you, see you, speak to you, nothing. Because when you have all that on, it's immediately letting people know that you don't want to, discuss things with them. You just want to be left alone. Like, if you see someone with glasses, a hoodie, a hat, headphones on, you immediately are like, okay, let me leave this person alone.
That's
So
true.
I'm good for making it clear, but I'm also good for staying home. If I want to be left alone, I stay home. But if there are days where I have to go out or whatever, I will put on my sunglasses, and I don't care what you say. I don't care what your judgment is. I don't care. Go about your day. There's other things to worry about.
You reminded me that I need to get prescription sunglasses. Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
way overdue.
Yeah. I have prescription sunglasses, but I have astigmatism. So when I asked for prescription sunglasses, my doctor was looking at me like, what in the world? This
What's wrong with
defeats,
that?
because astigmatism, I'm not supposed to be it's at night. So I'm obviously not going to be wearing sunglasses at night. Astigmatism affects most people at night, especially when you're driving. you shouldn't be driving at night without regular glasses because light starts to bend. So everything looks like zigzags.
Oh, my eye doctor said I got that too. I just like to pretend I don't got it.
Yeah, yeah, we went to the doctor 2 years ago, and I was like more concerned about my children, and he was like, "You have the worst eyesight here. You
Oh
should be
my
worried."
gosh.
But when I was younger, I had really, really good eyesight. But at night is when astigmatism can really, really affect you. And not just being outside, it's also like being on screens and stuff. Your eyesight can start to play tricks on you.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah. So having sunglasses, having prescribed sunglasses kind of is like an oxymoron for astigmatism. So that's why he was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna, you want them, you got them.
Yes. Guess what? We rested.
Yes,
We don't want to be
I have
bothered.
other, yeah, I have other clear ones too, but I specifically wanted those because I wear sunglasses. Well, not so much lately, but I normally have sunglasses on
I love
whenever I'm outside.
I like that. Like, for me, it's like either I could have like some headphones in, or honestly, if it's kind of like two people interaction heavy, I just go to my car. I might go
Yeah.
to my car during like my breaks, or if
Yes.
or the conversation is getting a little too long, I'm gonna be like, hey, I gotta separate myself because my setting has to change. I literally told somebody at work today, my setting has to change, so I'm going in my car to spend me time.
Exactly. And if it's too bright, because I remember I was working at a Verizon call center and they have, and I don't know if they do this on purpose, but they have the worst lighting in there.
Really?
And yeah, and it's very damaging to your eyesight. It's like these bright, like hospital lights.
Ay, ay, ay.
And I think they do that on purpose to keep people awake, just like they keep it freezing cold to keep people awake.
That feels like weaponized a little bit because
I
God.
clearly wasn't there long. I was not there long.
Oh my goodness. Like, you don't want people to feel at least a little bit at ease. I do think like hopefully
No, they
like the
don't.
culture, because yeah, like I feel like if we're more at ease, there's more peace. And if there's more peace, things can move a little bit smoother. There's
They
a little
don't
bit
want you to
easier
be at
around.
peace. They
I
don't want you to be at peace. They want you to be desperate for money. They want you to be desperate so that they can treat you however they treat you, so that they can pay these low wages, and so that you will act accordingly and fall in line.
ay, ay, ay.
Don't you get it?
Goodness gracious. That's literally the definition of how cultural norms affects how we view rest. A
Exactly.
great example of that. Oh my goodness. So it's kind of like you gotta also combat like that factor, like work or your environment trying to make you feel bad for needing that rest. So goodness gracious. And you know what? That also adds on to the next point that we have where rest is resistance, right? Because for Black folks, people of color, choosing to rest in a society that glorifies grind culture is a radical act in and of itself. Because if more of us choose to prioritize rest, educating on rest, and then being a prime example of what rest does, like I feel like it makes you stand tall in your society. It enacts change. You know how they say if one of us isn't free, none of us is free, right? Like,
But we're never going to be free in the country of America. In the US of A,
mhm.
Black people are never going to be free. And this is why it is so important for people to travel, to educate themselves, and to understand where they can go if they decide to leave this country,
Mm,
because this is not the country of freedom for people of color. I'm just being honest.
yeah. Um, I completely agree with you as well. And then, like, even my boyfriend, his position around it is kind of like, this is how much time, like, this is his community now. So it's like trying to build a community. So it's like if you're one of the folks who want to stay, or who feel like they have a deep attachment or a deep mission, then um you got to stick to the mission and stick it to the big man for as long as
But
possible.
I think I can fulfill my mission. I think I can fulfill my mission while living elsewhere. I think so.
Period.
I think
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Because I rebuke.
It's
I'm
scary
good.
out here.
It really is. I don't know what's going on, but I'm done.
Yeah. I'm literally gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's living a dream life back there over there. Period.
I'm gonna be calling you like you gotta do what you need to do to try to get over here. Like, you know, if it's I will be honest about places. I'm very honest. I've been traveling for many years. I'm very honest about what is beautiful and what is not.
Mhm.
Panama, like if I would still be in Panama to this day. Mind you, this I visited there 5 years ago or 4 years ago. I would still be there to this day if the borders weren't closing, because it was due to COVID. They were closing the borders, and they called us. They said, any American that is still in Panama, you're about to get stuck over there. And listening to my family, who doesn't even really support me, listening to them, I ended up coming back here. But honestly, if I would have got stuck in Panama, it really wouldn't have been that bad.
It wouldn't. It wouldn't have been that bad.
It really would not have. And honestly, you know, there's a lot of things that you can do out of pocket there. You can, if obviously I would have found ways to do things like file for insurance and do things like that, but there's a lot of things that are so affordable, like trips to the dentist are affordable out of pocket there. In many countries, trips to the dentist are affordable. Trips to the doctor are affordable. It's only here
Yep.
that we have this issue.
Yep. And I've been thinking about literally being a medical tourist. I was thinking, so are you gonna get your teeth done after you take care of these cavities here? I'm like, yeah, I might save a couple money, get a little travel credit card, and you might see me in Turkey getting.
Yes, I've I spent many years traveling to Mexico for long periods of time, and I honestly could see myself being there long term. I could see myself in Panama long term. After Panama, I was supposed to go to Costa Rica, and that was when the
Dream
everything
country
shut
is.
down.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many different countries that we as Black people are more accepted. Now, I will tell you, Mexicans can be very racist, very racist. Not all of them, not all of them, but many of them can be
There's
very
this
racist.
spectrum, and I know that it could happen, and oh, yeah.
Yes. But
Mhm.
Panama, they didn't even realize I wasn't a local until I would say, "Oh, we're from New York." Or like see my book bag, because I used to walk around with my book bag all the time, because they don't give you bags when you do like food shopping.
Mhm.
So I used to have my book bag all the time in case we went for food shopping. So that kind of gave it away that I was a tourist. But other than that, they thought I was a local.
In Panama, like there's a lot of like Afro Latino like Panamanians. Like I knew
Many,
a couple.
many.
I know of people. Um,
Yes. I love Panama. Oh my
mhm.
God.
Like also you choosing to kind of like leave. I feel like that's also like um going against the rain and showing a bit of resistance, because it's kind of like, if since you're not getting it here, you're gonna find it somewhere else to get it, because you don't
Oh
have
yeah.
to settle. You
Oh
don't
yeah.
have to. You still can choose you, and like also in a way like everything that your ancestors worked so hard for, like you're doing what they wouldn't have ever been able to dream of. They like all they could do was dream of it being possible, where you can choose to go where you need to go, because if you're not giving me what I need, I'm gonna go somewhere where I can get what I need.
Exactly. I do want to visit many African countries. I do want to visit more of Asia. I know Asia gets a bad rap when it comes to Black people, but I still want to see it, you know.
Mhm.
um there was a time where I was about to teach in Dubai, and I was mad at my grandmother for a little bit because she kind of talked me out of it, because she was like, do you really want to go there by yourself? And I'm in my head now, I'm like, I've always been by myself. But like technically I've always been by myself.
Mhm.
I don't have much help. Um, but now that I look back, I'm like, I don't know if I would be alive if I went to Dubai, because I am very that patriarchy stuff just doesn't work for me. So I probably you know, I think I let that go for a reason, my spirit was like, girl, no,
Mhm.
don't you do it.
Hmm.
Because in Dubai and UAE, because those were the areas that they were looking for teachers, and they were paying you like money to go, but it's
Wow.
like you can get arrested for, especially women can get arrested for anything that is seen as disrespectful to a
I heard
man.
if you get too loud, or if you
Too
like,
loud, too
yeah.
outspoken,
Oh man, they probably would have arrested me too,
if
because
you show your
it's just
shoulder.
your shoulder.
You're laughing, but I'm
Ay,
serious.
ay, ay. Goodness gracious. Yeah. And I saw a documentary on Dubai, and it's kind of like my little internal activist on like women's, it's like
Yeah.
not saying like, of course, you can't speak on the whole country, but like it was kind of like maybe Dubai. I used to think about like Dubai, but I was just like, just because of just my personal thoughts on how women should be treated as a whole. I feel like how you view your women is how great a country is, and just because it's rich doesn't mean it's that great. Like, yeah, they rich, but
Exactly.
it's just a few
Exactly.
people oils on some oil companies, and that's it. Like,
Exactly. I don't know that I would have survived. I don't know that I would have made it out without being arrested for something. I think that I was being held back from that opportunity for a reason. I really do. Now that I think about that, I really do. I used to teach English to a woman who was from Iraq, and she moved from Iraq to Texas. And she opened my eyes to so much about how marriage is not always um, love. Like in the USA, you know, marriage is based on love, and you finding somebody that you mesh well with and you care about and you have the same values as. And in her case, it was like, no, sometimes you get married as a business arrangement. Like, I'm married to this man for stability.
wow.
Yeah. Like, I was like, oh. And the way she was just describing her marriage, I'm like, wow. And many, not all, but many cultures are similar to that.
Mm-hmm. Where it's like where in exchange for this per our business arrangement. Da,
Yeah.
da, 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 da. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
some people are like assigned to marry somebody because that's the family business decision.
I don't know that I would be mad at that right now. I think, you want to marry me? You want to marry me? You want to marry me, but I'm going to have my own house and you can have your own house. Right? And we can only, go out for public viewings, take some pictures and then leave me alone. I think I'm good with that.
Hey, I mean, it's like a set of boundaries.
I mean, yeah, I think I'd be fine with that. I would be fine with that. Um, I would not be fine. I would not be fine in a situation where you're telling me what I have to do.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not
that's
that kind of girl.
Mhm. Let me do what I need to do. If this is a business arrangement, you guys, business
Yeah.
arrangement.
Yeah. Business arrangement. Let's take some pictures. Let's have our own houses. We see each other when we need to, and then I'm out.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
But this was a fun conversation.
It was,
Yeah.
and I think like I hope like it makes everyone feel a little bit at ease about like resting, because I know there's several of us that can just feel really really bad about resting. Like you know you work hard, you work super duper hard, and then it feels like your mojo is gone if you take a moment to rest. But the rest is what keeps your momentum. It's what keeps you going. It's what keeps you alive. It's what keeps you healthy. Just like how we were saying earlier, just like how your phone, your laptop, or even your car battery needs to recharge. So rest is essential for you, your brain, your body, and your well-being. So remember, it honors your humanity. It tells you that you matter beyond what you produce. Okay.
1000%. And I just want to thank everyone for joining us in this conversation about rest. And if you can't already tell, Zeta and I know I'm so sorry. Sandra and I have been working really, really hard and are the first to tell you that rest is important. We know that you work really hard. We work really hard. It's hard out here. This hustle. Ooh, see, I need rest. I need rest. This hustle culture has got to end. It really does, especially for people who have been doing this for quite some time. You're burning yourself out.
Exactly. Exactly. So, all in all, we talked about how the way we are raised and our personal beliefs about rest can sway how guilty we may feel. And the tips and tricks that we provided, the 4 tips. Remember, like going backwards, rest is resistance. Replace the guilt loop with gratitude. Set boundaries around your rest, and reframe your rest as fuel, not laziness. So remember those things so that you remember that we all need rest.
Yes. And if you felt this conversation, follow us wherever you get your podcasts, share it with a friend, and join us on this healing journey.
Remember, we have our discussion posts on our Google Classroom. And for the next episode, we are going to dive into a conversation about how to notice when you're headed toward burnout.
Ooh, that's a good one. So don't forget to visit us at www.groundedstars.com to book a class, to book a session, to hang out.
And we shall see you guys again soon.
See you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.